Hello everyone, it is me, your host of this wonderful channel, and today is a news video about a future film that we will do in the future, me and Justin here, and Justin could come out. You can come out, boy.
Give it a moment, it's taking a bit. There we go.
There you go, he's here. So, Justin's here, so...
Hello.
So, the movie that we are going to do, we're revealing it to you. So, this is the movie we're gonna do. Subnautica. So, Justin, would you like to explain?
Yay. So, the idea for this actually came to us, actually last week the idea came to us to do a Subnautica movie. I'm not entirely sure how it came up. We were just talking about games, and then we mentioned about the Subnautica game. It's like, hey, what if we did like a fan movie for that? And it's like, well, that would definitely be, it would definitely be interesting to do, because like, considering it's all, well, fictional based. Not saying that the Jurassic movies aren't fictional based or stuff like that, but the thing is, it's kind of hard to have like cardboard traps underwater, considering cardboard and water don't mix. So it kind of be hard to get creature traps, considering like everything in Subnautica is underwater, and that's what all the creatures are. I mean, yeah, there are some places where you can go on land, and there are like weird spider crab things, but but for the most part, everything is water based, and all the creatures in the water. So it's like, how would you recreate that if you can't use CGI? And it's like, but it came to us, and then I gave the idea, and we might do this. We don't know if we're actually going to be able to do this, but it's like, oh, what if like before we did the movie, we actually like did a gameplay of Subnautica, and so we could really get a feeling for the idea of how the movie should go and stuff like that. But yeah, so that's how it came to be.
Yep. And if you guys don't know what Subnautica is, most of you might know what that game is, but if you don't know...
Honestly, at this point, most of you watching should know what Subnautica is. If you don't, you're probably too young to even be watching all movies.
Yeah. Well, if you know what it is, you know what it is. But if you don't, basically it's about an alien planet with aquatic life, and you have to explore the planet and try to get off the planet and survive. Essentially, that's the whole game is about. So I have like...
It's a water survival game.
Yeah, essentially. And our movie would be called this here, Subnautica Return to Planet 4546b. Yeah, this planet has a long name.
Yeah, that's the name of the planet for those who don't know.
That's the planet from the game. So. And of course, it's a Adventure Studio fan film and a Justin and Mateus film. So, just for you guys to know, me and Justin are directing this thing, and we're acting in this thing too. So.
We do what very few actual movie directors do, and that's also starting the film. There are very few TV shows and/or movies where the directors or stuff like, or like people who actually partake in making the movie also are characters within the movie. There are very few movies that do that. One movie that I know for a fact does that is the movie Thor Ragnarok, where the character Korg, which is for those who don't know, is the rock creature, is actually voiced and played by the director of the movie himself. He actually partook in the movie. Another example that I know is the TV show, which is, I'm going to date myself with this, and I'm sorry for this. The TV show Phineas and Ferb, the voice of Doofenshmirtz is also one of the people who helped write and direct the TV show. So it's really interesting because we do what very few directors or writers do. We actually partake in the films.
Yeah, that we do that on this channel. And so this is the characters that will be in this movie. This is my character, and this is Justin's character. Justin chose his name, guys, so Justin, he's chosen some weird names here and there for some characters, but you know.
Oh, like it's better than the my name's still better than the last one.
True. Oh yeah, what was from the... I think you made a really weird one for the Devonian one.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, a weird last name or something like that. I forgot exactly what it was, but you know. So we have Steve, and then we have these two characters. We'll have to find people to play these two characters here. And who knows, like maybe in the future we might do collabs with famous channels. And actually have them in a movie of ours or something like that. Who knows?
If they're okay with it, that is. That we first need to get their okay.
Yeah.
And if they do give us okay, there will be a shout out to their channel at the top of the description as homage or honorage to the people who help if they decide to help us.
Yeah. And this is the plot. So, Justin, would you like to explain the plot? I mostly explain stuff here and there, but how about you?
Yeah, with the plot, it's, for those who know the game, in the end of the game, you find, in the end of the Subnautica game, the first one, not Subnautica Below Zero, we're not talking about the second one. The first one, it basically, ends with you, spoiler alert for those who haven't played. I will say this now. Spoiler alert for those who haven't played. It finishes with you building a rocket and escaping the planet. And so basically, and then you enter a wormhole. Sorry, now I get a wormhole / like light speed travel, I guess is the best way to put it. And so you basically end up getting back to civilization. We don't know because the screen cuts out and the credits roll, so fans assume that you've managed to make it back. And so basically, as this film will go, it's going off the assumption that the character that you play in the game makes it back to civilization, to where other people are, and he tells them about the island. And so what happens?
Not the island. You mean the planet?
Is the planet.
Sorry guys.
Sorry.
Justin is still used to the Jurassic World kind of vibe that movies. So
yeah. Sorry. Anyway, he escapes the planet and he tells people about it, right? And so then people who hear about it is like, okay, well, let's go and explore, see if we could maybe find something to help and stuff like that. And so they send a research/exploration team to the planet, which is why it's which is why in the title it's a return to planet 4546b. That's why it's called Return, because the characters are returning to the planet, even though the character you play isn't returning to the planet, but he's the research and exploration team is, and so basically,
like you as the audience are returning back to the planet ever since the game, if you've played the game, in a way.
Yeah, pretty much. And of course, as they go toward the planet surface, malfunctions happen with the ship, causing it to crash into the planet. So basically they need to then survive, much like the character that you play did, and find a way to survive all the different horrific creatures in the water. And trust me, there are quite a few, and quite a few of them are absolutely terrifying, and we might put one or two.
I can name a few, like, the most iconic one is the Reaper Leviathan, which has, like, those huge fangs on the front of its face, and it's
mandibles, and so we'll see, and we might include a Reaper Leviathan and maybe one other Leviathan. We're not sure yet, but we'll see if we can add some of the one or two of the Leviathans into the movie as a kind of danger to the characters. Because I mean, yeah, most things, and it's only when you get to the deeper water do you really encounter, or maybe one or two biomes that you enter, where you really risk the threat of going seeing dangerous creatures. Because most of the bios in the game, even the underwater bios, most of them are very, very like neutral creatures, like they won't attack you unless you attack them, kind of thing. And for the most part, it's also like just fish, so there's no real threat in the shallower waters. But once you start getting to deeper waters or into different, or like maybe one or two different biomes, that's where you have the sea threats. So we'll try to add in the creatures for that one, so when our characters go to those deeper waters or to those biomes that the creatures are in, our characters will have to deal with the challenge of eluding or escaping said creatures in the biomes or in the deep water. So that will happen, but for the most part, they're just trying to get on the island and collect the resources.
Yeah. And of course they're gonna find a way off the planet, and they're gonna survive. And of course, we might in that movie, we might even allude to like the first Subnautica game, and maybe find the wreckage of the Aurora or something like that, or find like the player's base or something like that.
Yeah, we'll find these characters' base. Of course, what we'll do for that is we can try to play the game beforehand, so that way we can build the survivor's base off of the base that we build. If we do get a chance to play the game, we'll kind of base the survivor's building on the island off of the one that we build, if we can play the game. If we don't make any promises on that.
Yeah. And
so yeah, that will happen. And if not, we'll give a link to a random YouTuber's channel that plays Subnautica, and we'll use their base design as the layout for the survivor's home base that we come across.
Yeah. And you guys are also probably wondering, because we talked about locations and the creatures, but who knows, we'll also, maybe in our movie we'll probably like have like us go into like some famous some of the famous vehicles from that game, like for instance, like the sea moth, or the prawn suit, or like the submarine. I forgot what the big submarine's called.
Cyclops.
The Cyclops. So who knows? I don't know how we're gonna make a film set of a submersible, but we'll try. Like, we kind of, like, you probably saw our Jurassic World movie, how we did the helicopter thing. We used a big, like, board and cut a window into it. That's how we did that film set. We might use those kind of boards again, or something like that. Care to explain?
Yeah.
Into it?
Yeah, we'll try to use, sorry. We'll definitely try to use some cardboard for the vehicle, things like that, or even inside of the base that the survivors build, and for the base that the survivors come across from the previous survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll use cardboard for that stuff, and I don't know what we'll do for the creatures yet, or how stuff like that, but yeah.
So another thing to talk to you guys about is, how do you know we're gonna do underwater scenes? Well, how do you think we're gonna do those scenes? Well, we will most likely do them in actual, like, water, probably even deep water. Who knows? So we would have to do it around the ocean, because Justin doesn't live near the ocean, but he's in a province, a place that's near the ocean. But
I live near lakes, not an ocean.
No, I'm not meaning a lake. I'm meaning like BC is near an ocean, right? So like, we might go to the ocean. Who knows? What do you want to say? Something where we could do it too? Give an idea for the viewers.
Yeah. I have an idea in mind, although I have a feeling it'd be very difficult to get the okay to do it, and we'd have to do it on a day. We'd have to make sure that we do it on a day that it's closed when there's no. Do have one. I just don't think it's very likely to happen. Like I'll still mention it, but but keep in mind, the likeliness of us actually being able to do it is like 0.00000%. It's like most likely it most likely won't happen. But an idea that we could do to recreate like the sea life around and stuff like that, and like the kind of coral reefing around. My idea is to see if we could get the okay from the Vancouver Aquarium to go into the big tank that you see, where you can walk down the stairs and you see that big wall of glass with all the fish and coral around. The likeliness of that being happening, as I say, is so incredibly small that it most likely won't happen. Mostly because we'd firstly get the okay from the aquarium to do it, and second of all, we would have to do it on a day that it's closed, because otherwise in the background of the glass you would see people, which would make no sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The likeliness of us being able to do that is so incredibly small that it most likely won't even happen. Like,
Yeah.
I could still try calling and asking around the time that we're going to do the film. I could try calling and asking to see if that'd be an okay thing to do. Chances of that happening are probably not gonna happen. So, like, I think it would be a cool thing to do because it would simulate the terrain and like the underwater experience. But the likeliness of it happening is not gonna happen.
No. Another thing we could do is we could go to Vancouver Island and go to like a bay area or like a little cove area. I know of one place called Smuggler's Cove. I'll put the picture right here on the side.
That name sounds promising in and of itself.
Smuggler's Cove, and it's on Vancouver. It's on the Sunshine Coast, which is if you guys don't know, it's an area north of Vancouver Island. It's like a little place there, but we might record in the actual ocean too if we can't get the thumbs up from the aquarium. But then we would have to ask.
Which probably won't happen. We probably won't get the thumbs up anyway.
So like, if we were to do it in the ocean, we would have to get like scuba gear and stuff like that, and
that in itself is expensive.
Yeah, so we would have to figure out how that would happen. But
well, I mean, to be fair, the only things we would actually need to buy is a scuba tank.
True.
Because in the game, the character only has like a breathing tank, not like a natural.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess he does have a wetsuit as well. To be fair, your character does have a wetsuit, and your character can create flippers. So I mean, I don't feel it's entirely impossible to get. I mean, like, we could get an entire scuba tank gear and stuff like that, like the suit, the flippers, and the thing, but like it would be so expensive. And the amount of legal hoops we'd need to jump through at the same time just to get our hands on it as well would be enormous.
Yeah. So, and also, like, not just for like scenes on the planet itself, but like scenes inside a spaceship. I don't know how we're gonna do that. We'll probably have to make a a spaceship cockpit and cabin out of like cardboard or something like that. Like, do you have any else? Like another idea or something like that? Because like we'll have to do the scene of us crashing on a planet too, and
Yeah.
we'll do outer space and shit.
I mean, again, I think that could work, but will never happen since I think it costs like around like $1 million just for one person to go. Never mind 4 people. That'd be like 4. Never mind like getting 5 people to go. That would cost like $5 million. But there is a rocket that just takes people up to the little outer atmosphere of Earth. So you're technically in space, but you're not like in deep space. You're just outside of Earth's orb. You're like just outside of the Earth's atmosphere. So like you will float because you're in space, and then it comes back down. So it's like just a tiny rocket that takes you just outside into space and then brings you back. That could work for the thing in space, because yes, our characters would be floating around then, and it would perfectly recreate the experience of like going into space and then coming back and then like crashing down. But as I mentioned, it is ridiculously expensive for one person, never mind 5 people to go. And it's in the States.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, some things we'll have to figure out whenever we do this, so. There are some movie ideas that are a little bit easier than some, like the Indiana Jones movie that we're gonna make. And you probably heard it.
Yeah, but that'll probably be a more easier film, because it's all people fighting. There's no like, no, mind you, I'm not hating on, but there's no dinosaurs, so there's no need for like puppets or like dino apps, because it's a lot easier when it's just people, and like unlike this one with the Subnautica, it's not like overly complicated.
Yeah, and that's our next project. If you guys didn't know, if you didn't know about that, just go to our next video. I'll put that in the link down below for you to see the last one, and you guys can find out about our next project. Yeah. And you want something? Do you want to add something, boy? Sorry.
No, that seems good.
Yeah, and then that's good. Well, the last little thing I will mention is the music that we're gonna Well, we'll probably use like actual music from the Subnautica game in there, and of course we will tell you in advance that in like the credits of the end of the film and in the description of saying, oh, this music belongs to the game and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we'll use official Subnautica music, or we'll like another thing, like there was a possibility to Prehistoric Peril, but we already did it. I was gonna almost, like at one point, I was almost gonna like contact a friend of my dad's house, or my dad contact a friend of his that composes music to compose music for a soundtrack for our film. But I never really did. But that would be an interesting idea for our future films, to actually have someone compose music for us. What do you think, Justin? Would you like to add about that?
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool.
Essentially. So, thanks for watching, guys. And thanks for supporting us and our projects. And stay tuned for future projects in the future.
Yeah, we thank you a lot. You've been a big help.
Great. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.